Hi, everybody. I'm Crimson. Thanks for joining us today. And thank you, Michaels, for having us. Today, I'm going to be showing some really cool project with our patio paints. And Michaels has like over 50 colors that you guys can shop from, and they are great to use for your outdoor projects. Now, I'm going to be making these cute little garden, upcycled garden art sticks or stakes. And, you can use them in your yard, or you can use them in flower pots. Like I had them sticking around everywhere, just kind of showing you what they would look like in a pot. But of course, I love like in like a flower bed or something, that would be so cute. And so I'm just gonna show you how to do those. And I hope you use these for inspirations. I'll show you, I'll take them all down so you can see them up close. So they're all different. And I would really love that you would use these for inspiration, but obviously yours are going to be completely different, and you can change them however you want. And I'll flip them over too so you can see the other side. They're just really fun, and I'll show you just kind of how it's just kind of an impromptu painting. You just have fun in the moment with it. So I'll get that started for you so you can see. Lay these over here. So what's fun about this is that you can, if you already have like wood pieces laying around, you can just gather them all up. And I mean, that's basically what I did in the studio. And Michaels has a great variety of like wood, cutouts that you can use for this. Any of these, like even like old ornaments. Like this one was a Christmas ornament. I just cut off the ornament part. So any of these, as you can see, what's fun is just to lay them all out on a table and just kind of play around with how you lay the shapes together to see, piling them up and see how you would like them to be. And that's what I did first before I started gluing. Now I'm in a kind of a closed area, so I won't be like actually gluing today, but I glued them together with the E6000. And I just used an old paintbrush to spread it on. And I'll show you how I did this one. So basically, I decided to do the star, and I would, paint each area with glue like that. You get the idea, I hope. And then you just turn it over, and you want it to be level as it's drying. It usually takes about 24 hours to set up, 72 for, curing time. But a tip I wanted to show you about attaching these, as you can see, these are already glued together over here. A tip about gluing these dowel rods on is I took an X-Acto knife and just kind of sliced a little, you can see that, a little flat area, so it'll be able to be glued flush to your main shape. So then I would just paint on the glue and lay it like how I want it. And you want it to be flush, so if you need to prop it up like this, like I use this to prop it up, then I'd also, as it's drying, put a little piece of masking tape while it's drying, just so it won't move around. So, and then also I use like a little metal piece, and all the pieces don't have to be wood. You can use plastic or wood and metal, or any little pieces that you like to use. I always save little things that break off of things, and be a perfect time to glue them all together to make something cute. So then that's the gluing part. And like I said, you want to plan ahead and do that like 24 hours to 72 hours before you start painting. That way you don't have to worry about them moving around and everything. And another tip, someone suggested, well, they thought that I had painted these all separately, but I didn't. So if you wanted to paint all your pieces first and then glue them together, that's also a possibility. That would give you some other fun ideas to be able to stack them and already painted. I'll just show you what I did. So we'll start off with maybe this one. I'll just be going back and forth with them just to show you some different techniques that I used on these. And like I said, I picked a a wide color palette just because I wanted to have options to have these really colorful and playful. So I'll just be going through those and grabbing them as I just get the idea as I go. I'm going to take these down so I can see them. And I'll show you the brushes that I went back and forth with. You might have a favorite brush that you like to use. And obviously these don't have to be small, they can be larger, and then you might want to use a larger brush, but a flat brush is definitely good to use. And then like maybe a smaller liner brush. And this brush is really nice, sort of like a rounded mini mop brush. Those are really fun when you're laying the color on. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Yes, the patio paints, again, are so great for your outdoor projects. You don't have to have any sealer, and they're really durable. And the colors are really rich, and they go on really nicely. And there's a satin finish. As you can see, these sort of have that little satin finish on them. It's really nice. Now, I didn't sand any of these wooden pieces. I just didn't think it needed it, but you know, that's your preference if you want to do that. And I just went ahead and just started coating these beautiful colors on these pieces. Yeah, it's amazing coverage.
Where are all our paints made, Crimson?
In the USA.
Right here in Kentucky?
Yeah, in Kentucky. We have a manufacturer in Stanford, sorry.
So we don't source any of our paints overseas. They're all made right here in the US.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We're really proud of that.
Yes.
Crimson,
Yes.
can this paint go outdoors?
Yes, that's what it's made for, and it's very durable and it doesn't crack or peel. Okay. And it's water-based, but yeah, after it sets up, it's very durable.
So it's
Water-
weather resistant, correct?
Yes, yes, weather resistant. And it's okay, like see how I kind of messed that up right there? It's fine. You can paint over it. That's what's fun about this. And I think it's a great project for like the whole family to kind of work on, because kids can have fun with this too. Once you glue it together for them, or like I said, you can have them paint the pieces separately. And then they can tell you how you want it to glue them.
Yeah, I want to do this with my kiddos.
Yeah.
This looks really fun. I think this would be a great Father's Day gift.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'm going to do this for Grandpa.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Have him put it in his garden. And the great thing about these paints is that they don't fade. So
Right.
we can put it outside and it'll stay
Exactly.
bright. And these patio paints are perfect for outdoor projects.
Absolutely. So you can see that paint just soaks right in. You don't even really need to do a second coat, but you know, if you want to, you can. And I just like to cover every part of the wants to show you that glue there. You want to glue those together, like I said, and have it all set up before you get going. Or you can glue it together after you paint them. But like I said, you want to cover all the areas that are going to be outside. That way they're sealed and secure for outdoor use.
I think what I'm going to do is have each of my different kids take a piece and paint it and then glue it together.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like all the kids kind of contributed to one.
That's really
gift
nice
for
a
Grandpa.
gift, yes,
Yeah.
for a gift. Now to do these stripes, it's super easy. I just take a flat brush and kind of just went like that. I didn't clean it good enough, but that's okay. I'll flip it over. And just kind of, and what's fun, you know, that these aren't perfect. I think that gives them their charm. It's just fun to just kind of go at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do let the white set up before I go back in with the black, as you can see on those. I'm like black and white stripes, but you could do a color if you want, if you don't like black and white. I keep flipping it over. I guess I could just, oh, sorry. I could do one side and then flip over into the other side. However you want to do it. There's no right or wrong. I do like to leave a little spot to have a handle though when you're painting it, so I don't paint all the way down. I'll wait till the end to do that.
Crimson,
Yeah,
can you tell us some of the surfaces that this paint works best on?
absolutely. As you can see, it's wood, obviously is great. Terracotta, masonry, and concrete. And I think even some plastics too. Yeah.
We usually say some plastics because there's such a huge variation of plastics that are produced out there, and some are made with a lot of coating on them and some are made with less. So it really just depends, but we always recommend if you're going to paint on a surface, paint a little bit of paint in an inconspicuous area to test and see if it works the way you want.
And like with these, I mean, you know, if you had an extra little piece that you'd want to test on first to try a color out, I'm just going to prop that up so it'll dry. Let's see. And this one, I'm just going to kind of do a yellow. This beautiful Fiesta yellow. Shake them up really well. Sometimes if they've been sitting, they settle a little bit. You just see how beautiful those colors are. Brush. So with the lighter colors like yellow, sometimes I like to add just a touch of white to make it just a little bit more opaque so I don't have to do multiple coats.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
So adding white makes it a little more opaque. I didn't know that.
And I'll do this a little differently. I'll do this one on here. Now, depending on, like, that wood is a little dark, so I might have to do a couple coats on that one, but that's fine.
So just to remind everybody, we're painting with our patio paint outdoor acrylics. These paints are awesome for outdoor projects. They're durable, weather resistant. They stay bright and colorful in the outdoor elements. And Michael sells over 50 colors.
Yes.
A lot of colors. So,
and they won't crack or peel.
Yeah, these are great for outdoor craft projects, art projects. We've even painted some outdoor canvas.
Yeah.
If you want to like hang some art outside on your patio, if you have a wall, and you can paint outdoor pieces with this. And if you paint the entire canvas, even the back part where the wood is, it'll help seal everything in. So it stays, it doesn't rot or anything outside. Right.
And the same for like terracotta pots. If you're going to use it for a plant, you would paint inside and outside. Yeah.
It can go on concrete, masonry, stone, paper, ceramics, styrofoam, wood, walls, and canvas.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
I think one of these projects behind you, Crimson, is my favorite. This little garden stool.
Yes, that was very fun to make.
That was just a white garden stool that has been colorized.
Yeah,
colorized by Crimson.
With some masking tape and some paint brushes. Very easy.
Looks awesome.
And these pots for patio paint too. So that was a little upcycle for those. It's great because I don't know, I get to itching and I want to refab things during the summer. You're like, oh, everything looks so dull, it needs color. So this is a great way to do that. And so then if you don't like if you want some variation in your surfaces, you just take like I said, yellow. And if you want to show some brush strokes, just gives it some texture. These are great to, experiment with different things that maybe you've not tried in a painting, or, different brush strokes or patterns that you might like.
That's really cool.
You might find a favorite.
We did that on the heart here. You can see the brush strokes on the heart.
That's it up. Let's see. And see, this dries pretty fast to touch, so especially the wood because it's porous and so it seeps in. And so if you do have to do a second coat, you can do it pretty fast after you do the second one. I mean, the first one.
Coverage is great though.
Yes. And I love that it dries pretty fast because, especially with projects like these, and you don't want it to take forever.
Acrylic's so great because it's so forgiving. You can paint a coat and it dries really fast.
Yes.
And then you can paint another coat. And if you paint something and you don't quite like it, you can just paint over
Right,
it
exactly.
pretty quickly.
That was the best lesson I've learned when painting is like, don't stress too much. You can always paint over it if you mess up. Yeah. Here's another one of the colors, Petunia Purple. Show you that. It's a pretty color. I like it next to this blue, so I'm just going to add it. A little bit of white again. Just all right. See this white, a little blobby, so it's not going to be all the way dry. I thought these were really fun because it's sort of like an ombre tie-dye look on those popsicle sticks.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna do that on here and show you that was really fun to do.
On my phone.
So with those, let's see. We'll just start with like maybe this one to show you what I did. This way so you can see. I just kind of started painting that. There's a little glue there, so I might have to go back over that area. Because it's not quartz. See, it's just sitting on top of that, and then it sinks in, so you just might have to touch it back up. And then what I do is just take a little, get my brush a little wet like that. Do that area. And on that one, I added pink, but you can do whatever color you want. Kind of blend it in that area if you want. There's that. And you can do it with pink and blue, yellow and blue, green and purple, all the different colors. You can try all the combinations with these. That was the fun part. Seeing the colors together. I'll try to get a lot of these sorted out for you so you can just see how pretty they are. Mistletoe green. That's a popular one at Christmas time. They're not really making a lot of outdoor things like maybe a wreath for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Outside. Stays weatherproof.
You could paint a little yard Santa.
Yeah,
or...
right.
My friend just picked up a thrifted like old Santa sleigh display for her
Oh,
yard,
yeah,
and
perfect.
all my friends always hit me for paint. And she's like, how should we paint this? So we're going to use patio paint outdoor to upgrade it. And
That sounds fun.
it's worn and dull, and we're going to bring it back to life.
Absolutely. And I do like to use my finger to blend things sometimes, just because I like to get my hands dirty. You obviously do it with a brush if you want to use your finger. Let's try some colors we haven't yet, like red. And this is a Tuscan red. Speaking of Christmas colors.
Mm-hmm.
Hang it up for you. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, this is a blue Bahama. I like this color a lot. A soft blue. It's still really bright. So if I wait too long, that might have set up where I can't really blend it. In that case, I would just do this and then just take a little bit and make like a middle tone and I'll blend those together. know, now obviously a fun way to get dots is just to use the end of your paintbrush, like I did with a lot of these, just because I like doing that. I think it's fun. And I like polka dots. This is a salmon color. Another pretty color. See that? And it's fun to actually do like complementary colors too on top of each other and get that bright contrast.
I love that blue and peach
Yeah,
together.
so pretty. I just love that these aren't precise. Like you can just have fun with it and not worry about messing up. And again, if you do and you want to paint over it, you can.
Yeah, but for
That's
anybody just joining us, we're using patio paint outdoor acrylics. These are an excellent paint created especially for outdoor projects, and it's weather resistant, weatherproof. It'll stand up to all the elements, stay bright and colorful, no sealing required.
Yeah, no cracking or peeling.
Yep.
That's the best. All right, let's
Starting to look really pretty.
do something to this guy. Color haven't we used? That's what I did. I was just like, let's play with all the colors. And show what you have to do this kind of graphic looking little guy over here. Oh, that was a bright orange poppy. That's a really cute name. My cat's name is Poppy. So I just kind of went along, you know, you can go along with whatever wood piece you have and get inspired for shapes to paint. So in this case, I just kind of went with that starburst pattern. I just did some of the areas orange. Like that. Painting upside down. Can't
You're
really
pretty
see what
good
I'm
for painting
doing.
upside down.
And sometimes, especially if you already have a layer of paint on there and it's already kind of sealed and you mess up, if you have like baby wipes, you can, you know, spot touch up the paint that you don't want to be in a certain area. That was getting that color on there. Just have fun with it. Like I said before, there's no right or wrong. To have multiple people, family members working on this, it could be a great project too. Like for school.
So everyone is really curious, if in case they missed it, they want to see how you painted the dots again and what you used.
The what was it?
The dots.
Oh, the dot. Yeah. I literally just used the end of the paintbrush. Now, different paintbrushes have different ends, so you just want to see like this one is kind of round and this one's more flat. I think the flatter ones work best. You know, and the bigger the brush or a pencil eraser are great for dots. That works well. Just depends on what size dot you want. Let's see. Let's do a blue dot on this. You can see what it looks like. And depending on how loaded the end is, it'll be a fatter dot or a smaller dot. Now, if you want them to be all the same size, you just dip it every time. But if you don't care about it changing sizes, then you just kind of dip it until it runs out.
I mean, and dotting is a whole art form in and of
Oh, yeah.
itself. So we actually have some really beautiful dot art videos on the Deco Art channel. But if you want to get a uniform dot,
yeah,
it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. And like I said, you might want to fill that up every time so you have
Right.
the same amount of paint each time you dot. And then obviously, if you did want like a very specific pattern, you could draw that out first, so it'd be very symmetrical and all that. So let's see, what are we gonna try now? We could do like a freehand shape on the back of here. I'll use like I haven't used this glue yet. Blue Jay. It's a really pretty color. This isn't. Oh, let me shake it. Now this is still a little wet, but that's fine because I don't care to have the brush strokes. So if you want it to not blend, then obviously you let it set up completely. Oh wait, I did use that one before. That's okay. You know, playing around with shapes. Sort of like these, I saw these as like an abstract flower that you would put in your garden or your flower pots, or I mean, they would even make really cool wands. Like if you ever want to do it for a birthday party.
Oh, like a
or
magic
something.
wand.
Yeah, magic wands.
That's a great idea. Well, and I know I've got my Father's Day gift in the bag now. This
Yeah.
is what I'm doing. I'm gonna have each of the kiddos paint some pieces, and I'm gonna give one to Grandpa and one to Dad.
I think that's a really cute idea, and you could like so easily personalize these, like a
Like a date.
cute message or a date or
Yeah.
a name.
Father's Day 2021.
Yeah,
Or you could even do like if a dad is into something, like maybe they have this favorite sports team
Mhm.
or something, and you could do the colors of that.
yeah. So like I said before, just have fun doing patterns and textures on here. You can do different things and try it out,
I like that. and
and you can experiment and maybe find a new texture that you would like for a painting or another project that you might be scared to just experiment on. With these, I think it works well. You just have fun with it. See, and then just like simple things like that. You don't have to think too hard about it. It just happens organically. Do another color. And like I said, I like to paint. I painted the backs of these as well, so that they're two-sided. That way, you can enjoy them from all angles. Let's get some this color blue on it. And this one is Summer Sky Blue. I like the names of these. They're really creative and summery.
Crimson,
Yeah.
do you have any tips for how they should combine or use color?
Oh, sure. I'll show you some tips on here. So like this is a bigger brush. And so if I just wanted to coat that really quickly. Now, like say you wanted to give some variation on these rounds with a different color, you could try out maybe the pink with the blue, and then just kind of do fun textures like that. Wrap it off in between. You don't even have to. You don't even have to wash your brush off. That's what I was gonna say. Just wipe it in between colors. And what I thought was really fun is that I just kept building the colors as I went along. So like, at first these were solid, and then I was like, okay, it needs dots. And then I was like, well, maybe I could go back in with the line work and, just have fun with it. Just keep building.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's just like a simple little thing that I just experimented with, and I don't know, I've never done that before. I just thought it was fun. So, and then like I said, what I like about doing multiple of these is like they're drying in between, so you can go back and forth, and each can set up a little bit, and you can work more on them. I can do those stripes again and show you how that's done. Just a flat brush, depending on how wide you want your stripes. Just an easy back and forth. And if you wanted your your garden stakes or your garden art to be taller. Obviously, you could use a longer dowel rod. When I stuck these in the ground, I did a little tip that you can use. If you don't want to slice the end to make it pointed, you can just take out like a screwdriver with you and just kind of stick it in the ground first, and then that kind of breaks the ground. Especially if it's a hard dirt, you want to break it up first. But you know, planters are usually pretty soft anyway, so you don't have to worry about it with planters.
If you cover these entire pieces of little wooden pieces with this patio paint, you're essentially sealing it, because this paint is so durable for outdoor use, and it's sealing everything in. If you paint so if you leave any exposed wood, that probably wouldn't be a good thing if you're going to keep the piece outside.
Right.
So you'd want to paint every piece. So you can see Crimson's painted even the bottom,
just
all the way around, so that this little stake is nice and sealed for staying bright outside.
And if, you know, like I said, if you were going to have it like as a kid's project, maybe they weren't going to pay attention to that, you could like base coat them first and with a solid color, and then let them paint, and then it wouldn't matter if they missed some spots. So then I have that. I'm going to show you. I think this one's pretty set up, and I'll show you the black rings. It's the same thing, but it comes together when you add the black. And the black is the wrought iron black. Very nice black. I'll show you on this. I think they're pretty dry. I did the light one first because if you know the black goes over white easier than the white goes over black. And as I said before, I like to leave that bottom area until the end, just so I have a little handle to flip it around with. Now I'm just connecting those other side. You don't have to worry so much about having lines perfect and doing all that, because it just gives it more character. And once you get all, you know, all the color on there that you want, I can show you some more. Add this. Once you get the colors on, as you can see with these, I sort of made the colors really pop out by adding the black on top. Like for details, black and white. I thought that just gave it just the little detail it needed to be finished. And like Elizabeth said, just want to make sure all those areas of wood are coated on your straps. Wherever your paint connects. It's kind of easy to miss little spots, so you can just look over it. And that was super easy. I'll show you on this one. Well, it's a little wet. Like how I might add black to this one. It's still a little wet, but I'll show you anyway. Like I'm gonna add like another layer of those dots with black. And it just really pops those out.
Yeah, it does.
I'll not let those dry if we're gonna do this any other time. I'll let them dry first before I do the black detail. It doesn't really make a difference, but if it's a big glob of paint like those, it might mix. Let's see.
How long does it take to dry this? Like,
Well,
layer?
I think it's like 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like to be totally cured before you put it out in moisture, probably 72.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're working, they dry pretty fast just to touch, so that's nice.
That's what I was kind of asking, like,
That was a little fat.
if you were going to put your next detail layer on, you could wait
Yeah.
an hour.
Oh, not even.
Okay.
Yeah, not even that long. Even as you can see, I've been going back and forth, and it's really it dries pretty fast unless you've got like a little glob of paint there. Let's see. Like I said, just have fun with it. Whatever comes to mind, just do it. If you don't like it, you can always paint over it. So let's see. Now, like I said before, adding those complementary colors next to each other really pops out the colors. Like on this one, I have the orange, so I might do a blue next to it. It really gets the eye going around that piece with those complementary colors. For small areas like that, it might be better to use a smaller flat flat.
If any of you are interested in learning more about color and complementary colors, color theory, we actually have a weekly Facebook Live class on Deco Art's Facebook page, led by a fabulous artist named Tracy Moreau, who talks all about color theory.
Yeah.
And how to mix colors together, combine colors together. It's a really educational and fun thing. It's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm sorry, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday on Deco Art's Facebook page. So check that out.
Yeah. I would say I would be holding this way closer to my face. Not on a Facebook Live. So I can't hardly see what I'm doing. But you get the idea.
I like the blue and orange.
Yeah.
Again, I think this would be a great Father's Day or Mother's Day present even for next year.
Yeah.
Using like mom or dad's favorite colors or their favorite sports team colors, and then they can put it in the garden or put it in a house plant, and it's something they can always look at, put it in their office. It's just a really cute project.
Yeah. It might be a cute surprise for those back to school kids. They're having to go back to school. And they come home with something colorful and pretty in the yard. That'd be nice. Just let that set up, and as you can see, I kind of laid some black on there. Pop that out. And with like I did with this one, I'll show you how I did that little area. And I just mixed white with that same color. I'll show you real quick how I did that.
Oh, I love that idea. Gail says a bouquet of these in the vase would be great.
Oh yeah.
That would be
that.
such a fun. Flowers that never die.
Yes. I like that too.
That would be so cute.
I think I squirted out the wrong color. Let's do that one. See, it's a little darker. Just get that purple on there, or any color you
I
want.
can't get over the coverage is just incredible.
Yes, I love it. And you can see how fast that I'm covering these. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah,
And especially on the wood, because it kind of sinks into that porous surface. And if you wanted to add a second layer, but I don't think it needs it on most of these colors. Depending on if your wood's darker or not, you might need to add another coat. So then I have that. Then I'm gonna add, let's see. Like if you didn't have a lighter purple, you can just add a little bit of white. I have some over here. Just mix it with that, and you get a highlight that you can paint on there. I think I probably waited till that was dry so it didn't mix. You get the idea. You can just play around with your brush strokes and have fun with it. And if you see something you want to highlight, go back in with the black when it's dry and pop it out. What I like about these is that they literally all could be all different. Like it would be hard maybe to get the same one every time, but that's the beauty of it. It gives it character.
And all these little pieces are at Michael's.
Oh
The
yes,
wood pieces.
all these little wood pieces, and if maybe you're joining us late, I'll just show you. Like I just had a little bucket of all these, and what I like to just get a bunch of all different kinds, and just lay them all out on the table, especially if you're going to do it with a group or kids. Then it would just have fun to all have them all laid out, and then just kind of play with the composition before you glue them together.
This would be a great group activity
I think so.
for kids or adults.
Mhm.
It's just so fast and so fun and easy.
And you could have them pre-glued if you wanted to make it a little faster for a group. And if you're joining us late, I use the E6000 to glue those together. And you just let that set up for about 72 hours, I think, is totally cured. But you can start painting on it after a day.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
I like the idea. Again, I'm gonna have my kiddos pick a piece and paint the piece and then glue them together so that I can give it for Father's Day as one piece together that has a little painted part by each child.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And in that case, you might want to do it a little bigger.
Yeah.
Or more layers.
Depending on how many kids you have.
Right. You know,
Six
some
layers.
of these grandpas have a lot of
It's a lot of,
grandkids.
yeah, all of them on one.
It might be stacked up.
I think these are so cute. Does Michael sell the mason jar lids? Were you able to find that? The
Oh, yeah.
jar lids are at Michael's?
Yes, and like I said, you don't have to use all wood. You could use any little pieces that you would find at Michael's, or even laying around your house and add it to the mix. That way you can really stack them up. Let's see. I'm gonna add some orange or salmon color again to this center area. Now, I know the one part of these that I did had to like more take my time is the edges because they're, kind of thin. So I just took a small brush. Where's my little, like a small flat brush. And that was really nice to just paint the edges like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. I just filling in these areas. I got a little sloppy with the glue in there, so I had to add a second layer to that part. That's okay. Let that dry.
That's what's so great about acrylic paint. It covers awesome. You can just keep adding layers.
Absolutely. And I know I've said this multiple times during this. If you mess up, you just paint over it.
Just paint over it. There's no mess ups.
Absolutely.
Hey, Crimson, when you get these all done, can you kind of line them up so we can see all of the finished pieces before you go?
Yeah. I don't know how are we doing on time? Here. Okay. So like I had this one on the back. What's fun is that doing two-sided, you can just do, then you have, you know, double the amount of ideas you can try out. And I just kind of played with the way that the things were glued to get ideas for colors and composition. You can think about flowers if you want, or you can just make up your own as you go. And as you can see, I just kept building up the layers of paint, just like I built up the layers of wood when I glued them together.
We would love to see all of you try this and hashtag make it with Michaels, hashtag deco art. We might even feature you, or Michaels might feature you on, if you tag us, we'll be able to see what you've created, and we'd love to see your creative ideas. I know a lot of folks have thrown out some really good ideas during this session.
Yeah, that would be
so
super
hashtag
fun.
deco art, hashtag make it with Michaels. We would love to see everyone's creative endeavors with this project. And again, we're using patio paint outdoor. This paint is especially formulated for outdoor crafts and outdoor projects. It's weather resistant, no sealer required, extremely durable. It won't fade, it won't crack in the outdoor elements.
And Michaels has over 50 colors.
Over 50 colors.
So you have lots of choices. So you can see there's a little bit of difference in the coverage where I had the glue.
Mm-hmm.
And then where the wood is, that's just because the wood is porous and the glue is not. But you know, you could maybe use that for inspiration to place your next color or design element. I really like working with color. I mean, there's just so many possibilities, especially with projects like this, because you can just keep layering and keep just adding the colors and make them so fun. I got all the areas.
And one of the things we talked about earlier is just making sure if you are going to put one of these outside, to cover all of the pieces of the wood or whatever substrate you're using, if it's not weatherproof, because the paint will act as a sealer in and of itself in a way. It will weatherproof that piece.
Yeah.
So if you left this wood exposed, for example, that might be a spot where if it got rained on,
or the edges here.
Or the edges. So you want to paint all those little parts.
Yeah. And even with smaller edges, like, you know, with the popsicle sticks, they're pretty thin. If you didn't feel comfortable even with a brush, you could just take a little dot of paint. Kind of put it on like that.
There's something so fun about finger painting.
I love it. I'm always. And if you had a spot that you didn't want the paint on and that you've already painted a coat, like I said before, I didn't bring any in here, but baby wipes are great for just wiping off little mess ups. Let's see if a damp paper towel might work too. Yeah. Just kind of do that. That gives you a good blend too. That would be another tool you can use to create some looks. Let's see.
We've got about 10 more minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
See what all I can get accomplished in that. Maybe finish off. Is there any other techniques anybody was curious about seeing?
I'd like to see more of the blend.
Yeah, that's what those were fun to do. So I had a lot of fun doing those. Let's try one with yellow.
Maybe while we're finishing up, does anyone have more questions while we're painting the rest of these, I guess, flower petals?
Yeah.
flower petals, popsicle sticks. I love the way the colors blend too.
Yes, it's so nice.
When I see people doing blending like this, it looks difficult, but I see you doing it. You make it look easy, I guess.
I think it works better when both of the paints are wet.
So
yeah. And like I said, if you had one, and I'll show you again, like say if you had a purple, and I'll just leave that for a second and let it set up more than I would like. And then I'll show you how you can blend that again.
Crimson and Elizabeth,
Uh-huh.
you speak to this paint as being non-toxic and okay for a birdhouse or other outdoor items?
You can. You wouldn't want to use it inside of like a bird bath or a bird feeder. But on the outside is, perfectly fine. And, just anywhere where animals might be eating out of, you wouldn't want to use it in there.
Okay.
But it's non-toxic as far as, using it and everything. It's water-based.
Elizabeth, can you explain the Facebook page again where the colors are explained?
Sure. So on Deco Art's Facebook page, Crimson, of course, is our designer at Deco Art, and we're so happy to be here on Michael's Zoom class today. But if you come on over to the Deco Art's Facebook page, it's at Deco Art Acrylic Paints on Facebook. We have a weekly Facebook Live where we talk all about color. And we actually have a color of the month that we select every month. And then we do weekly color of the week combinations where we're showing how different colors can combine with that color of the month. So it's a lot of color education, color theory, painting out different colors together. And it's led by Tracy Moreau, who's a very accomplished artist designer who has worked with Deco Art for years. So that's every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Deco Art Facebook page.
So if y'all saw that while Elizabeth was explaining,
Awesome.
I just kind of took the two colors that I'm wanting to blend together if they're not wet anymore. Like I said, that was already dry. I put the paint that I want to blend. Then I just mix those two to get that middle color. I like a blend of both of them and just do in that area. Like I said, you can use
I feel like the finger is your magic trick. Finger painting. It really is.
But no, it works well because it's a small area.
Yeah.
If it's a bigger area, you might have to use a brush to blend those in to make it really nice. But well, I didn't get them all the way complete, but I think
line them up.
I think you can see how they're going. And hopefully I gave you some inspiration for techniques.
We would love for any of you to try this, add your own creativity, and hashtag Deco Art, hashtag Make It with Michaels. We're always looking for fun things to share on our Facebook page. So we'd love to see your creative versions of these.
Yeah, so these are all fun because they're all different. And like I said before, you can't mess up. They're so creative and fun to do. The whole family can work on it. And don't forget to paint both sides. That way you have 2 for 1.
Make sure a kid doesn't think it's a lollipop. Yes, that's a very good tip, Giselle.
But also, you can make these for magic wands, so don't forget that. That's very important. Well, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you got some inspiration to try these out. I'm Crimson. See you later.